This is the Bríarhold Monastery, ruined, overgrown, and ready for your next one-shot. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly how I built this step by step so that you can build one for your own table and for your own one-shots. Now to get started, what I took is just an 8x8 inch piece of XPS foam and made a 1-inch grid across the entire thing. I carefully marked that and then took my pin across there just to put in those lines. And then once I had the full grid on there, it was ready to cut it out and make it a little deeper. To do that, I just used this utility knife and carefully and slowly traced each of those lines, cutting down maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. And then I just used my pencil just to redefine those lines and separate those stones a little bit better. Now you'll see all of the little pieces of foam there in the back with all the little white walls. That was the original project that I had in mind. It was going to be a recreation of my modular stone walls video with the smaller bricks that I've enjoyed using lately, but I decided about this far into it that I needed a full build to go along with those. Now this was supposed to be a quick and easy project that I could do before I took my week off to enjoy my birthday, but I obviously got carried away and decided that a much larger project would be appropriate, and I for some reason always underestimate how much time each of these will take. So that is why this video is late and why we are doing this build. Now at this point I'm just trying to get an idea for how large the base of this project is going to be by measuring out with those bricks and pieces of foam and before hot gluing this onto the foundation. Now if you need any of the supplies you see me using, check the links down below. Now for the walls, I'm going to start with them not being ruined to get an idea for measurements and scale of the whole project. So I'm going to first measure off the inch that is going to be below the foundation there, and using my trusty way of figuring out scale by just slapping a mini up there and eyeballing it. And then I'm going to draw some windows on there. Now to actually get the ruins, I'm just going to kind of draw those in place as we go, not worrying about the windows, and then just blocking those out with a utility knife. This doesn't have to be perfect, just somewhere along there is fine, and if you don't get straight cuts, that's also fine because we're going to be covering those up with bricks and plaster and everything else along the way. This is just going to be the skeleton and basic foundation that we'll be working off of. So put that in place, make sure that that is a shape and size that I'm happy with, and then I will make a duplicate and ruin it a different way, just to have some more variation and not just have everything identical. So at this point, I hot glued those in place to start working on them, and then remember that I still need to texture the bottom. So if you're texturing it, make sure you do that before you glue anything onto it. But for that, I'll just roll some aluminum foil over there to get a nice stone floor texture. Now for the other walls, I'll just mark where both of the other walls meet and are broken off, and then that will be the foundation for where I start ruining this section. So I'll put the door on there and then just make another ruined wall. Now, if you want to get involved in projects like this, the Craft Cave Discord is where it all happens. The community there actually voted on the name for the Bríarhold Monastery, as well as helped shape the lore, the encounters, and even the one-shot adventure that goes with this build. They tossed out ideas, voted on story elements, and were a huge part of bringing this project to life. So if you want to help decide what we create next, then come over and join our free Discord server by using the link below. Come hang out and be part of the builds. Now for the stained glass window, I just took a model that I printed off the 3D printer and glued 2 of those together. That way we could make sure that I had that texture on both sides of it. Then just hot glued that in place on the build, making sure to center it so that the bricks could stack up flush against that edge of the window. Now for the stairs, I just took some pieces of foam and stacked those up until they looked like they were the right height and a nice consistent steps all the way up to where the door would be. And then I just hot glued that in place and they were ready. Now for the corners, I wanted to make sure that we maintain that stone look while also not having any issues with how the bricks would kind of wrap around the corners. So for that, I just took some 1/2-inch XPS foam pieces and textured those up with the aluminum foil before snapping those off randomly and then taking the utility knife just to kind of carve them up and create some more weathering like they've been crumbling over centuries. I also went through and kind of notched out some pieces just to really further push that worn down look. And this is a look you could really take as far as you want to really weather those down or have them just the nice clean stone. But after that, I did go back through with the ball of aluminum foil just to really even further push in some more of that texture in those gaps where the foam was torn. Now from there, this is going to be what kind of supports all the walls together as well. So I'm going to put a bead of hot glue down through the center and then just carefully press that into place while making sure to hold the walls all nice and square. And then it was on to the very fun and exciting process of placing more than 2,000 individual bricks. By doing that, I just went through with the Mod-Podge and put a nice heavy layer on each of those and began placing them one at a time. On the ends, you kind of cut them down or trim them just to fit, and then place the next one on there. Overall, to do the entire build, I probably spent about 10 to 11 hours on this laying the bricks, but I really enjoy how these smaller bricks look. Now, I do also like the look of the larger bricks, but I feel like the smaller ones just really capture the scale better and also just do a lot better job at displaying that texture and giving the whole build a little bit more variation and life to it. If you don't want to do that, I don't blame you at all. It is a lot of time-consuming and tedious work. Now, you could also just trace these onto a piece of foam and then glue it in place just to have your brick texture. But apparently I just really like to punish myself, so that is what I did here. I probably, and I know that I will be doing it again in the future because I just really like how this looks, but it's totally optional and there's lots of ways you could do this. Now originally, before I actually got into the meat of this, the plan was to also do bricks on the entire interior just so I could have that look all the way through. But after doing all this, I decided I was going to do something else. So that is exactly what I did. So I took these boards that I used on the Witch's Hut build, and I began placing those just kind of around here in places that seemed like they'd be kind of strategic, but also broke up the flat walls and shape. So in the center of the smaller walls, next to the doors, and just kind of along the edges of the back window. I did make sure that these stuck out a bit more over the top in some places and were lower in others, just to add some more texture and depth like the walls are more substantial. Now for the interior of the wall, since I wasn't going to do bricks, I decided that I was going to just use some plaster. So I spread that over the entire interior, and this gives you a nice texture of kind of like a stucco look, but also adds a nice bit of weight to this project. Once that was done, I took the little gargoyle print that I got off the Bamboo Lab Studio and sliced that in half at an angle and glued that in place like it had been part of a fallen decoration many years ago. Then just trimmed down the edges of the build before I continued on. Now to get the painting started, I just started with some black Mod-Podge and did a nice heavy layer over the entire build, making sure to get all in between all of the bricks, all the boards, and anywhere else there might be any kind of joints, weaknesses, or deep spots. To get that primed, I just took the ultra matte Rust-Oleum paint and gave it a nice heavy layer. Onto the stone painting, we're just going to start with sponging on the yellow and then follow that with the red as we typically do with all of our stone, just to give it some nice warmth and depth underneath all of the layers of gray. Now, for the gray, I'm just going to take some white, some nutmeg, and some black to get kind of a nice warmer tone gray, and we're going to start kind of darker and then work our way up lighter. So this bottom layer is going to be our heaviest, where we're going to cover up the most of the underlying paint and give it a nice flat gray across the entire build. From there, we're going to add some more white to it, and this is going to kind of bring out the highlights, but also cover up a little bit more of that red and yellow just to further push that gray stone effect. And then to finish it off, we're just going to take some white, wipe off most of that so we don't do too much of it, and then start carefully going over all of the bricks to really pull out and drive up that contrast and texture. I typically opt to go a little bit brighter because I know that I'll come back through with a darker wash and really tone that down, but you can really push that as far as you like right there. Now for the interior, we're just going to do kind of a stucco look with a kind of a yellowish white and give that all a nice coat. I ended up doing 2 fairly heavy coats to get it all covered. For the wood, we're just going to start with a dark umber and give that a nice heavy coat on all of the boards and doors. And then we're going to work on the pieces that go in between the bricks and the mortar, all the rough section. So I'm just going to mix some PVA glue, sand, and small stone with some black and white paint, and this will kind of act like a cement or joint filler, where it's just going to cover up all of that and add a nice bit of rubble and texture to this whole build overall. Now for the ground itself, I'm going to take that same mixer and just add a little bit of the burnt umber and nutmeg brown again, and then we're just going to very carefully and thinly spread that over the entire base. Having that sand and stone in there will make a nice layer for ground because it's going to give you some nice variation and texture. And then we're going to go back through with some just plain nutmeg and dry brush over the top of those stones just to really pull out that contrast. I'm also going to dry brush that over the doors and the boards just to really pull out that wood grain and give that a little bit of contrast and color variation. Now for the moss effects, I'm just going to take some blended turf and some school glue and mix that to a nice paste. For how I figure out where I'm going to place a moss, I typically just look for places where water might be stored, or just anywhere that I've made a mistake or just don't like quite how the result looked, I'll just cover up a moss. Now, I did find these little hydrangea bushes over at Hobby Lobby and decided that they would make a nice little pop of color to add to the exterior of this build. So I'm just going to kind of twirl that bottom post so I could stick down into the foam, spread out the limbs a little bit, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and put those in place. I did hold those in there just a second, just long enough to make sure they were standing up straight, and then once they are dry, you can spread out those leaves a little bit more. For the grass itself, I'm just going to take some more school glue and some static grass, spread that out nicely with a little brush, and then apply that all over before knocking off the excess. And with that, the Bríarhold Monastery build is complete. Now, if you want to explore it even further, the full one-shot is over on the Craft Cave Discord channel. It's the same place where everyone voted on the name and helped shape the story. So if you want to be part of future projects, just hop in using the link below. It's completely free. And if you're enjoying these builds and want to see more like this, make sure you're subscribed here on the channel. It helps a ton, and we've got plenty more adventures coming. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.